When music moves, it shakes the world. From passion to action. Catch conversations and inspiration as we get to know emerging artists at the Ohio University's Music Industry Summit.
We are the university that finds the way to do the most unique things and the coolest things.
This is the Launchpad Podcast. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Launchpad Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you courtesy of Ohio University Music Industry Summit, and we're coming to you from Ohio University itself. This podcast is where we highlight the next best now. My name is David Oyuke. I'm the host and producer of this podcast, and I cannot wait for us to get into this episode. This being the first one, we had to start it off in style, and we have an artist who I listen to their music and it's intimate, it's deep, it resonates with me on such a crazy level, and I just had to bring this dude right here and get to know him. This is an amazing artist that you need to know now. Cano, what's good?
Not too much. I appreciate the kind words.
What do you mean kind words? Real words, man. Like, your music is really, really great. But even before we dive into that, speak to our people and let them know a little bit about you. What's your origin story?
Man, so I'm from a small town, 6,000 people, not too many. So growing up, I was just running around, doing whatever. Whatever there is. There's not much to do in a small town besides like be outside, and I think that influenced me a lot. Made me an earthy person, being outside, went out in the woods a little bit. But something cool that I noticed growing up was things, how they come and go. And I think that's what gave me that intimate, connected feeling, is because I've been connected to things for so long and just watching things grow, die. Like, because in a small town, when businesses go out, like,
you feel that.
They don't come back in, and then you just have like empty holes in the walls. And, as humans, we kind of have that, like everybody's trying to fill some hole in some way. And I think to see that in a physical way, also while experiencing it in a metaphorical way, made me think a lot more, because it puts it in your face,
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I do with my music, because I had to deal with that and see that in my life. So I'm just like, you can really show people things that they'll never think about, that they're dealing with inside themselves, and help them.
Yeah. What's the first thing you remember when you're talking about like being earthy and all these influences? What's your first memory of experiencing what you just talked about?
I don't know if there's like one moment, but something that kind of did do that for me was taking piano lessons when I was younger. We would drive like 20 minutes to a different town to do that, and before phones and things like that, all you can do as a kid is look out the window, and we always had music in the car, the radio. That was my first introduction to like playing music, but also I didn't really know them, but listening to music and feeling music. So I would just look out at like the stars and the earth, like as we drove, and I think that was probably one of my earliest connections to the earth.
You talk about like your influences, and you've talked about like your life influences. What else can you say like has influenced your style in addition to being earthy? Are there people in your life, friends, things that you can look back on and be like, this actually has a lot of influence on my style, my lyrics as an artist?
I think definitely artists that I listen to help that, but also, I don't know, I just kind of developed my own way of doing things. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other artists do that too, but I don't know, it came from a place of being naive almost.
Okay.
Like when I first started making music, there were no rules. There wasn't like, oh, you have to play this instrument or do this. I was in my bedroom. I was like 17 or 18. And I just started recording things.
Okay.
It was just an exploration.
There's no right way, wrong way to do it.
Yeah, it was just an exploration. And I listen to a lot of different things. Just like weird artists, not even artists who are releasing songs, artists who are releasing like 1 minute like soundtracks. There's this guy Louis Zong, and he would essentially make like short films, but in music.
Wow.
And like, I thought that was really cool. So probably started there, and then also some other artists I listened to.
A lot of your music also touches on like mental health, and the inner struggles of just being a human being. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody struggles. For some people, it's harder to get those feelings out in words, and I'm one of those people. And it's funny because I'm a performer. You know, I'm a performer, also an artist, but a performer, and I have to do that too. And it's strange, you know. I just want to help people realize, you know, it's okay to talk about things like that. Doesn't matter if, like, you know, sometimes they say, oh, be a man. Like, doesn't matter if you're a man, doesn't matter this, it doesn't matter that. Everybody can and has the ability to connect. And I think since that's something I struggle with, I kind of preach that a little bit in my music because it's something that resonates with me and has had a large impact on my life. So that's why I do that, just to kind of like, you know, hold my hand out.
Yeah. And what's the reception to that? Like, because like you mentioned, some people have these ideas of be a man or do this like this, right? What was the reception to your vulnerability?
It depends, you know. I mean, I have a lot of close friends who will reach out to me, you know, because they're like me too. Some of them are, and like, yo, like, I remember when you made this. Like, it's so cool to see you like grow and like do your thing. Like, you know, keep doing it. And, like, no, none of them really. And it's funny because, you know, I'm trying to be like, yo, like, say it all, say it all. But I feel like sometimes that in itself is saying it. Like, they're not saying like, hey, you helped me a lot, like with this that was going on in my life.
Yeah.
They're not saying that, but they are saying like, hey, thank you for doing that, which in turn means like, you know, thank you because you helped me, like, in that way.
It's kind of like creating the soundtrack for someone's life without actually planning to, and it's just because you resonate on that level, you know. And those are the moments where you think like music is way more powerful than just I got into a studio, you know, the producer worked in a song and we got out, right? You know,
exactly, yeah.
You have a project out that has a really dope name.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's 1-800-2-DOPE, and I'd say sonically it feels like a summer night. I mean, the cover is me on a skateboard, and that's my town. And it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Like, I was forced to see, like, you know, what it's like to be empty, because the town's like empty almost sometimes, and you can see it in that cover because I'm skating down the middle of the main street, no cars, nothing. But it's essentially a departure from late adolescence into early adulthood is how I would describe it. And, you know, mental health, suffering, internal suffering, things like that, but in a very gentle, intimate, close way. So that's how I would describe it. I mean, music helps me find myself, but I ain't met him yet. I'm too scared to see if we both got the same regrets. Does he smoke weed? It's sublime, the daytime. I want to struggle to survive and keep from going under. So
I want to do something called a fantastic segment, right? And it's a play on the word fan, because as an artist, like, there are artists we listen to and there are artists we think, wow, this person is really dope, right? If you could build your superhero artist, like, who would you pick and what would you love about that artist? Like, you know, you can say I would pick so-and-so because I love their lyrics and this, and you can create like this superhero artist. Who would yours be?
Yeah, when we talked about that for a second before, I was like, wow. Daniel Caesar for lyrics and vocals, just because his voice is so smooth. He was a big inspiration on me too, for that reason, lyrics and vocals. He can be so intimate, and he's just good at that. I don't know, he's just Anderson .Paak confidence and rhythm, because I mean, who can stop you when you're like when he walks in the room, you know who it is. Like, he's just like that. Tom Misk for production. he's a UK artist. He plays like guitar mainly, but his sound's just really warm. So him for sure. And then for style, like just like outfits and just like how he walks around Smino for sure.
Yeah.
Just because he's another guy who can just walk in a room, just like, oh,
Uh,
he's here.
yes, that's your
Crazy.
fantastic artist, like
Yeah, right.
combined, right? That's
Yeah.
super overpowered, man. It's like if that artist really existed, my word, man, that would be something else, you know.
Yeah.
You know. So I know we've talked about so many influences on your life, on your music. What are some of your greatest achievements right now that you look back and you're like, I'm so proud that this happened because of my musical journey?
Going to school, really, first, because I don't know. It wasn't like I wasn't planning on like really going to school. I mean, I don't know. That's what they kind of tell you, like, oh, go to school, get a degree, get
Yeah.
a job.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what I was doing though, you know. I came here, this was the only school I visited, with my dad, and I was like, yeah, seems cool. Music production, seems good, I'll go. And then, you know, I applied, got accepted, and you know, my time's almost up now, and it's been a journey, you know. Did a lot of things here, did pretty good with grades, gonna graduate with honors.
Well,
which is pretty
congratulations.
cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But also just making so many friends and connections and just being able to learn so much, not even within like the books, but life. Like
Yeah.
doing midnight music and meeting all those people, collaborating with all those people, getting up on a stage and performing my own music. That was one of my biggest accomplishments right there, to like pinpoint one, is like getting up on the stage and performing my music for the first time, because, you know, it was something that I thought would come much earlier and be much different, but it wasn't, and taught me to be patient and, you know, just enjoy it.
Yeah. That's amazing. So before we let you go, I want to do something called Picture Perfect. So I want you to pitch to our audience something about you. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to think too much about it. But for somebody who's listening in right now and watching right now, and they're like, I really like this dude. I like this style. I like everything. What can you let them know before we let you go? Because we don't want to let you go. So give them something to remain with.
Gotcha. So, I mean, as you heard, 1-800-2-DOPE just dropped. It's not super long, so you can listen to it all the way through for those of you who, you know, scroll through TikTok all day, because that's just how the media works today. But it's an easy listen. If you like Warm Summer Nights, you'll like that. And, you know, it takes you somewhere. I Can Provide Feeling. Here for a long time. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna keep dropping music like that. And can't promise it'll feel the same, but I can promise that it will take you somewhere and make you feel something, and you're gonna leave a different person after listening. So
Absolutely love that. So where can the people connect with you, you know, follow your music, follow your artistic journey, kind of help you build that community?
my Instagram is Braden Cano, BradenCano. Same thing for my TikTok and YouTube, except has music at the end. That's the only difference. We got a video out on YouTube. Got another one coming very soon. We're gonna announce that probably this week.
Sweet.
And then, yeah, on Apple Music and Spotify, my name's just Kano.
Uh-huh.
If I don't pop up, you can search 1-800-2-DOPE, or if you know any of my other songs, like Owen, Chevy Malibu, Ghost,
Bad dreams.
Bad Dreams, yeah.
That's the funny thing. I've been having really good dreams musically. Like, I listen to that song and I'm like, it's funny. I enjoy singing. I've been having bad dreams. And I'm like, it's like an oxymoron in my head because I love it so much. And it's playing in my head. And I'm like, there's nothing bad about that sound in my head. But I love that song.
Yeah, that's funny, because that was like the whole point. It's like, you know.
Absolutely. Man, Kano, it's been great connecting with you. And I wish you the absolute best with every single thing that you are doing. Remember to subscribe any single place where you will watch this and get this podcast. Remember, it's the Launchpad. And this is just the first episode, so stick around. We have a couple more that are going to be coming up. We have great artists, great conversations. And like we said, this is exactly where we highlight the next best now. Always subscribe to this. It's annual, so if you miss it physically, next time we need to see you here.
I've been having bad dreams, I've been having bad dreams every time
Thanks for watching or listening to the Launchpad podcast. Click the links in the About page to get to know more about our artists, follow their journeys, and also find out what comes next in their story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you at the next launch.